Have you ever wondered if she's secretly falling for you but just can't figure it out? Women rarely say it outright, but their actions speak louder than words. The problem? Most guys completely miss these subtle signs, and by the time they realize it, it's too late. In this video, I'll show you 8 undeniable clues she's falling for you. Pay close attention to sign 5. It's the one that makes her feelings impossible to hide. 1. She finds excuses to be near you. You notice she's always accidentally in your orbit. Maybe you're at a party, and suddenly she's standing next to you at the snack table, claiming she just loves guacamole. Or perhaps she volunteers for a task at work that conveniently places her in your vicinity. This isn't just coincidence. It's proximity attraction in action. Psychologically, humans are hardwired to seek closeness to those they're interested in. It's a way of subconsciously testing comfort levels. She's not saying, "Hey, I like you," but her actions are louder than any words. Pay attention to the pattern. If she's always around and it's not because you owe her money, she might be falling for you. But proximity isn't the only clue. Sometimes it's all in her body language. Let's talk about those subtle signals that speak volumes. 2. She mirrors your movements. You take a sip of your drink, and moments later, she does the same. You lean in during the conversation, and suddenly she's leaning in too. Coincidence? Not likely. This is called mirroring, a subconscious behavior tied to attraction and rapport building. Psychologists suggest that mirroring is a form of nonverbal communication that says, "I'm on the same wavelength as you." It's her brain's way of creating a connection without saying, "Hey, I'm into you." Because, subtlety. For instance, you're at a coffee shop and she starts matching your gestures. You crack a smile, she smiles back. You scratch your nose, and she instinctively does the same. If this happens consistently, it's not because she's suddenly developed allergies. It's a subconscious cue she's falling for you. But if her body is syncing with yours, what about her words? Let's dive into how her conversations might be giving her away. 3. She remembers the little things. Did she just reference that obscure band you casually mentioned 2 weeks ago? Or remember that you like your coffee black with a splash of oat milk? This isn't just good memory, it's intentional interest. When someone is emotionally invested, they pay attention to details. Her brain flags those tidbits as important because they're tied to you. Think of it as a selective filing system. While most people are too busy forgetting birthdays, she's out here cataloging your Spotify playlists and your dog's middle name. Imagine you're at a group dinner and someone mentions Italy. She casually drops, "Isn't that where you said you wanted to go for your next vacation?" Subtle, right? But make no mistake, she's signaling that you're occupying some prime real estate in her thoughts. But it's not just about what she remembers, it's also about how she behaves. Let's talk about when she goes out of her way to make your life easier. 4. She goes the extra mile for you. If she's doing things for you that aren't part of her job description, it's a strong sign she's secretly falling for you. Whether it's bringing you soup when you're sick or helping you with something you didn't even ask for, her actions scream, "I care." People naturally prioritize those they feel emotionally connected to. It's evolutionary psychology. Investing effort signals value. If she's putting in the work, it's because she sees you as worth it. Picture this. You casually mention that your favorite bakery always runs out of croissants by 9 a.m. The next day, she happens to have one for you. Sure, she'll play it off like, "Oh, I was in the area." But let's be honest. No one wakes up early just for croissants unless they're either extremely hungry or really into you. Now that we've seen the signs in her actions, imagine how she might express her feelings in unexpected moments. Let's explore what happens when her affection spills out in ways she can't hide. 5. She lights up when you enter the room. You walk in and it's like someone flipped a switch. Her face softens, her eyes brighten, and her posture shifts. She might not run up to hug you like a long-lost relative, but her body language betrays her excitement. Psychologists call this emotional contagion. Her joy reflects her subconscious connection to you. It's as if her brain knows you're there before she fully processes it herself. And let's face it, people don't glow like that for everyone. Picture this. You show up late to a mutual friend's get-together. She spots you across the room and suddenly she's all smiles and laughter, more animated than she was 2 seconds ago. That's not just friendly, that's an unspoken, "I've been waiting for you." But her energy isn't the only thing that changes. Let's talk about the moments when her words stumble over her feelings. 6. She gets nervous around you. She's usually confident, but when she's with you, she fidgets. Maybe her hands can't seem to find a resting spot, or she trips over her words. It's not because she's clumsy, it's because you're making her heart race. This nervous energy is her body's way of dealing with heightened emotions. Research shows that adrenaline spikes during moments of attraction, leading to things like sweaty palms, rapid speech, or even blushing. She might overcompensate by joking or acting a bit awkward, but beneath it all, she's trying to impress you. Imagine sitting next to her at a work meeting or on a group outing. She spills her drink or nervously laughs at a joke that wasn't that funny. It's cute, really. And let's be honest, when was the last time you saw her this flustered around anyone else? If she's nervous around you, wait until you hear how she subtly fights for your attention. 7. She playfully competes for your focus. If you're talking to someone else, does she suddenly interject? Or maybe she cracks a joke just loud enough for you to hear. This isn't just friendly banter, it's a low-key bid for your attention. Playful competition, even in its mildest form, is often a sign of deeper interest. She wants to be the one who holds your gaze, the one who makes you laugh. Evolutionarily, this behavior ties back to standing out in a crowd, ensuring she remains at the forefront of your mind. For example, you're telling a story and someone else chimes in. Before you know it, she's throwing in witty comebacks or light teases. It's her way of saying, "Don't forget I'm here, and I'm the one you should be noticing." But what happens when her subtle tactics turn into overt generosity? Let's explore how her giving nature might be her loudest signal yet. 8. She gives you thoughtful, unexpected gifts. She hands you a book you mentioned wanting to read weeks ago or surprises you with your favorite snack after a long day. These aren't just kind gestures. They're tailored acts of affection designed to show she's paying attention and cares deeply about your happiness. Gift giving, as psychologists suggest, is an intimate way to communicate feelings without explicitly saying them. By investing time and effort in something meaningful, she's creating a bridge between you two, a way of saying, "I notice what matters to you." Picture this. You offhandedly mention that you've been struggling with a workout playlist. A few days later, she sends you a custom playlist, complete with songs she thought you'd like. It's not just a gift, it's her way of sharing a piece of herself with you. If she's already pulling out these stops, imagine what might happen when her feelings become undeniable. The signs only get stronger from here. Be honest. Do you think she's into you, or are you completely clueless? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's see if you're picking up on these signs.